Hey everybody. So, doing this weight loss, is good because I'm getting healthy and all that jazz. But, it's like after this week, this week has been so hard. Like I wanted to throw in a towel, and I got to thinking, it's like, okay, y'all, let's try this again. My recorder has been acting a fool, but whatever. So this week has been so hard. Trying to work out, trying to stay motivated and everything is it's on all of my nerves, right? So last time I made a video, I had lost 20 pounds, so I'm grateful for that, and I'm doing well as far as the weight loss, but it's like, if I don't fix the pain and suffering and the trouble behind the weight loss, then I'll just be kind of skinny, but still dealing with the emotional issues. And so this week, I kind of went off on two people, and it was just like 40 years of stuff. It just came out of nowhere. And so, to make a long story short, I gotta kind of bring you up to speed about some parts of my life. But it's like, I was married before. I had 6 children with my first husband. My second husband, I have 2 children with him. And so, my first husband, I was with him for 18 years. I found out he was cheating. I was not going to stay, and I didn't care. So my youngest, which everybody calls the baby, she kind of, I would say all of them had it hard, but she seemed to have taken it the worst. Her grades dropped and blah, blah, blah. She just really thinks she's the only baby. And my other 2 children, I guess, just don't exist because they weren't from her father. But anyway, because all of them were having issues with this divorce and separation, I kind of was lenient on them because I'm like, yeah, they're going through stuff. I understand this is kind of difficult. So she kind of got away with stuff because she was the baby. And so when she was about 12 or 13, I had another child with my second husband. So now you see I got 2 with him and 6 with my first husband. And so, she basically been running amok, and I really haven't been too hard on her because I'm like, yeah, she's the baby, and that's always been the answer. She's the baby, blah, 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 she's the baby. And so, to bring you up to speed, it's like all my life things happen and I'm always quiet. People like to argue, people like to fight, and I'm like, yeah. Okay, I'm just not going to argue. I'm just going to say okay. And so, like, last week, she was just running amok. And I had just completely had it. And so, I ended up, of course, being quiet like I always am and not really addressing what was going on. And so, it just kind of led to me being more quiet. So then my husband like, oh, well, I feel like you're taking this out on me and you're just so quiet and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, I'm always quiet. It doesn't mean that I dislike somebody because I'm quiet. I'm just freaking quiet, right? So I said, okay. So I finally said, listen, Stevie Wonder can tell that I've been having these issues with my daughter, and that's why I'm so quiet. So it was just like out of nowhere, I just gave both of them the complete what for, because I had it. And, I of course, we made up or whatever. But I was just sitting thinking, like, why am I always so quiet? Why do I never really address issues, when things really, 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 really need me, to talk about it and to talk through them. And so I just been kind of doing some soul searching, and I'm like, I don't know what's going on with me? Like, geez, I'm just crying all over the place. I should be happy that I'm losing this weight and blah, blah, blah. And, ugh. But then I started thinking, when I was 5, I had a family member come and say, you know what sex is? And I'm like, no, I was 5 years old. And so this family member showed me what sex was at 5 years old. And I had to be quiet. I couldn't really say anything. I couldn't scream or shout or do anything. I had to be quiet and just take it. And so years later, other family members did the same thing. And I had to be quiet. I couldn't talk about nothing. And sitting at family reunions and family barbecues and all this other kind of crap with those people, and still being quiet and maintaining that silence for their protection, not for my own. So then, I turned 13, and I was 12. I met my first husband, and he was an older man. And he was like 24, and I was 12. And so he kind of was courting me and all that kind of stuff. And so, I found out I was pregnant when I was 13. And so people wanted to know who he was, but I couldn't say because he was so much older than I was. And it wasn't because I chose not to say something. It was like, if you say something, we kind of can't be together. That's fine, whatever. And I'm not just trying to blame him. I take responsibility for whatever, role I played in that too. And so, I started having children by him. And, by the time I was 15, I was a homemaker and everything, living with him full time. My parents weren't really around, so I never really had that bond with them to tell me, hey, this is not something that you're supposed to be doing, and it could mess you up later. But anyway, he'd do stuff, and I was just quiet. I was just this happy, quiet housewife to be, and I never said anything, even though I was unhappy. And so when I was 18, me and him got married. By the time I turned 21, I had 6 children by him. And so I was very unhappy, but I never said anything because it just wasn't ladylike to open up your mouth and say anything, so I just kind of suffered. And so when I turned 21, I had my last child with him. I was really kind of going through postpartum, just having these issues. And so then I found out that he had been cheating the whole time. So I said, you're going to miss me when I'm gone. Period, point blank, ain't no ifs, ands, buts, or suppose about it. You're going to miss me when I'm gone. So by the time I think that was about 1999 when I told him that. I still was pleasant. I still was a housewife. I still was taking care of my children. I still was doing what I was supposed to do. I was nice to him, even though I knew I was going to leave. So fast forward to 2004, I said, okay. And I was still silent this whole time. So 2004, I met my current husband. Packed my bags and was gone. Blah, blah, blah. I already knew I was leaving. And so it's like this man was so wonderful. I didn't want to let him go, but I wasn't healed. I had so much crap going on with me that I should have been seeing a therapist or doing something, but it was like I just didn't want to let him go, and I didn't want somebody else to snatch him up. So again, I was silent. And it's like, go get some help, speak, open up your mouth. And I still couldn't do it because it just was unladylike, And so I've been with my second husband for about 16 years now. And it's just, no matter what, if I'm unhappy, if I'm sad, if I'm up, if I'm down, I will be silent. I won't say anything, period. I just will not speak. And it's like easier to kind of keep the peace when you're quiet. And so my husband is the type that he's going to make you talk. And so, some of our silent, fake arguments will come from him trying to make me talk and me not wanting to. And so anyway, I just, having such a hard week, I just been like thinking back and going over these memories. And I'm like, damn, girl, you have been tortured. And you have been taught to not say anything. You have been taught that it don't matter if you're in pain, you keep quiet. if your husband is cheating, you don't open your mouth. You just be this good little Southern belle and you take care of him no matter if you're suffering or not. Not my current husband, the ex. Your children, all my children are doing well and graduated from college, blah, 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 got their families. And this little 22-year-old is just, And I said, it's not your job to fix her. She's not you. She's not the broken version of you. You cannot fix her. You can't take care of it. And so that's very difficult for me because I'm a natural fixer. I'm a natural healer. I got to make sure everybody else is okay and not worry about myself. And so, again, this week have been just so freaking hard because I have had to say, it's your time. You are going to take care of you. You're not going to just only lose weight. You're going to make these little videos and you're going to get this crap out. My story is so crazy, but I can help somebody else learn how to heal themselves because I can't repair those wounds, but I can move forward. And so, you know, I've been doing a lot of crying, which is not normal for me. You know, people are like, oh my God, you're just so strong. And I'm like, but if I was strong, I wouldn't still be suffering. All that stuff would have been over. I could have just swept it up under the rug and I never would have had a problem because of my black strength. Come on. I'm not strong. It's like, I shouldn't feel like I have to ask for permission to do everything. And, you know, I'm going to make all these videos and I'm just not caring about who hear it and who don't hear it. It's about me trying to get this crap off of me, out of my heart, and making sure I am okay because I haven't been. I have not been okay. And so, again, it's just like this week have just been so freaking horrific. And I'm grateful for the lesson. I'm grateful for being able to see, like, damn, you know, you have gone through stuff that most people couldn't survive, but you're still here. And so, like I said, I'm just gonna just start getting this stuff out and just, I know it's mind, body, and spirit that I gotta heal. I can't just lose the weight and just keep on holding on to all this bull malarkey that's been going on inside of me. And so I'm about to end this video because like I said, I just have had a horrible week. But to lead to the next video, I think tomorrow when I get finished working out or whatever, I'm going to talk to you guys about my son that passed away. And that's another big issue. But yeah, it's just, I'm all over the place. And I'm hoping that getting this stuff out, not only is the pounds going to melt away, but the pain and suffering is just going to go right along with it. But I love you guys. Keep on keeping on. And so excuse me if this video was all over the place. I just really had to get this out, okay? And I love you guys, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.